Hello, everybody. Trying to get it. No, you can't get up in my lap. Daddy's busy. Got we gotta make money. He said, "Money, hell, you got plenty." Poor little thing. Come on, get up here. Now, go on. No, have a fit. Just go on. I'm not gonna sit here and hold you when I'm trying to do stuff. Ain't you a mess? He said, "I don't care. I don't care." He says, "Chased him off anyway." Poor baby. Here we go. Let's see. I got to tell on him this morning anyway before I get into my deal this evening. I laid down for a nap. So he has little stairs he gets up there, but I moved him away so I could, get to bed. And so he gets up there on top of the stairs. The little stairs supposed to go to the bed. And there was a quilt and some other stuff laying there. So he jumps from there all the way over to try to make the bed, which he didn't make it. All clothes fell down on him. Poor baby. I reached down, picked him up, put him in bed with us, so he shut up. Oh, well, tonight we're going to talk about, is it a pandemic, a plague, or a hoax? A little bit of milk for nighttime. Okay. Well, 250,000 people have died almost. Probably more than that if the tally was corrected. Probably thinks it ain't a hoax. Hello, everybody. Listen who this is. Live on the Half Shell. Thank you for dropping by. This thing has went to a bunch of different countries. It's told how many people. There's probably over 1 million cases in America alone. It's really out there. Yeah, I believe it's not a hoax. That's for sure. But there's some people in high offices still think it's a hoax. My nephew's wife, she got over it pretty easy. My nephew's still having a heckle of a battle over it. So I don't know. But like I said, the coronavirus is just like a flu virus or any other kind of virus. And the word corona means it like it's a respiratory illness. Basically, what the coronas are. 19 was the year that it came out, 2019. So therefore, like I said, it's here now. If this vaccine they claim works at 90%, and then Russia says they got one that's over 90%, I believe the world's got to get a handle on this, and it's just going to come back every year, just like the flu. And we might have to take a flu vaccine and a corona vaccine every year. They said one of them said that it might last 2 years, like a pneumonia shot will last 5. I don't know. It's been a long time since I even dabbled with any medicine or even been in a lab. So it's been a while. I'm not qualified anymore. If you stay out 6 months, you need to go get retrained. So there you go. And the little dogs are wandering around. I think what we need to do, since this another wave is coming, I don't know where it's the first or the second or third wave. Well, what's your question? I believe that. Let's see. Here we go. That ain't come up on me. So here we go. Yeah, that's what the vaccine is made with a small dead virus, the dead part of the virus, and it's injected into you. So your own antibodies is going to make the make your vaccine for you, basically make the antibodies. And that's the way polio did. Now, remember polio, when they first gave them shots at it, gave people polio. So it depends. It could give you the coronavirus. So, you know. Ooh, look, I got a bunch of people here. I don't know what they've been saying about the new vaccine, but they say it's about 90% effective. This is not made that way. Well, it probably isn't. It's made from something else. I don't know how they made it. They're not, I guess I haven't paid that much attention. The sales okay from an infected person going on, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, there's some 2 or 3 ways they can do it. They can, they can make it 2 or 3 different ways. Let's see here. Over here. Human cells. Well, the question is, are you going to be one of the first ones out there to take the vaccine? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where I would be one of the first ones to go out there and take that vaccine. I'm just saying. That sounds like the president. I'm just saying. Yeah. I ain't saying I wouldn't take it. I just said I'd not be the first one. Well, on the half shell, I don't know. I think we need to give it a benefit of the doubt. But if it's going to, they're going to give it to medical personnel first, and then they're going to give it to the elderly, the sick, and the infirmed, and ones that's got underlying cases, problems, that, and the other. I don't want to be the first one. See, I'm not the first one to get the flu shot every year. I wait till when I go in the 16th, I'll get my flu shot and another pneumonia shot because it's due. But I wait till it lasts longer. The flu season, if you take it late in the season, it'll last longer into the season. It's only good for about, 60 to 90 days to begin with. And I'm wondering if somebody said this would be good for 2 years. I don't know how that could work, but I don't know how the pneumonia shot works for 5 either. But I just don't know where I'd want to be the first one. Hello, Fox. I think it's Gail. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what the procedure is on this, but I do know we got to do something because the people are not wearing masks. They're not wearing protective equipment. They're just ignoring it, especially here in Oklahoma, a Republican state. I think they still believe Trump. It ain't nothing to begin with. Well, them poor people that died, it's something. Roasted bean. What the heck's wrong with my deal? No, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just praying a lot. That's about all I've been started doing, just praying a lot. Having a 30 minutes to an hour prayer session every day. Like I said, I'm into that state of mind right now. Yes, I know that the coronavirus is not a hoax. I don't know the difference much between a pandemic and a plague. Maybe it ain't killed enough people to become a plague. Because I looked at both of them, they're both affects humans, and so so I believe it's on the verge of becoming a full grown up plague. What are we doing to prevent you catching the coronavirus? Has any of us out there have caught it? I haven't caught it. I got tested and I've never had it. So I have no antibodies. Let's see. I've been wearing my mask, wearing my gloves, spraying with my stuff up there. My where did it go to? I can't even reach it. My alcohol solution that I make up. It's up there. See it right there. A little further, it's right there. Yeah, about that. I keep it close to me. I gotta see what else has you up. My phone's messed up. Here we go. Come on back here. Bleach is a good one, especially on your shoes and this, that, and other. Can't buy Lysol anywhere. I've been using peroxide alcohol and a little bit of that aloe vera. Uh, yeah, all the packages that come in, you bet. I've been living off of Amazon. Let me tell you. Uh, right now, the stores are getting pretty well empty of a lot of things, and now if you need to get out there and restock and resupply, but I've been buying steadily. There's no sense panicking because I just kept buying my usual, and I throw a couple of things in extra every time I went to the store, like maybe a couple of cans of soup extra, or just a little bit extra. I mean, I didn't like panic run out there and get 6 cases of it or something like that because that's what hurts everybody else. I'd buy my normal groceries and this, that, and the other, and I've got plenty of toilet paper and paper towels. Uh, you know, I could always use a bidet, Hudson sprayer to wash your butt, nothing else. Mainly food, I've got plenty of that. But buy food if you're stuck in during the pandemic or the plague or whatever. Buy food that you normally would eat. You know, that's what I'm saying. So if you normally don't eat it, then don't buy it. I I do eat rice and I eat beans and this, that, and the other. But if I didn't eat something like freeze dried this or whatever that's supposed to last 25, 30 years, tastes like cardboard, well, I ain't going to buy it. I did buy me some more Dash. Well, if they want to put themselves at risk, you can't help them. I mean, common sense. It's just like anything else. If you don't want to wear a seatbelt, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? It's about on the same level. The chances of you catching it may be slim. Uh, Chances you being in a wreck may be slim, but it might help you survive if you wear the seatbelt, and it might help you survive if you put on the mask and wear the gloves. Yep. Try to keep yourself safe. You're in stage 2. Keep up on this stuff. Well, you've been out 3 times. I'd stay safe. If I got an underlying disease now in line, like cancer, uh, diabetes, obesity, big fat me. Uh, I've got a bunch of underlying diseases or ailments. Let's put it that way. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna take extra precautions and make your loved ones do it. It ain't good enough just for you to do it. Make your loved ones, especially if they live in the same house. You got a son or a daughter or a husband or children that live in the same house. Make them take precautions. I threaten them, well, you ain't living here if you catch it. I don't know where you're going to live, but you ain't going to stay here. Of course, they probably would. I'd probably end up catching it and take care of them, but it's the point. You've got to stress it and stress it daily. No, nobody talks much. I'm the one that talks too much. The reason I'm putting up these hangouts every night at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna be on here hour and a half, 2 hours, is I'm going to monetize my channel, and so I can make $5 a month on my PayPal card So that's what they charge me a month to have a PayPal. So I'm going to try to make $5 a month. It ain't going to make me or break me, but I thought, well, hey, I might as well. I like to talk, and I put something up every day anyway. Uh, your loved ones is the most important. It's like a grown person. I'd rather die 5 times than I would lose one of my kids or my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? I've lived a long, long time, and of course my kids are up in the 60s, but I don't want to go before my kids do. I mean, come on, what kind of person? What kind of person's that? I don't want to go before my kids. I'm gonna stop this rotation. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just be extra careful. Packages, yeah, I think we should start spraying them really good again. I slacked up on a little bit on that. Well, I had Lysol. Now I run out of Lysol. So there you go. But I was going to spray with this alcohol stuff. They ain't going to hurt nothing. But next time, I really didn't think that much of Lysol. Now, I did spray my linens and stuff when I changed the bed and this, that, and other, because it keeps down bugs or bed bugs and all that other stuff. So I'd always spray my mattresses and stuff with Lysol when I put new sheets on and stuff like that. So that's about the only reason I use Lysol. I mean, to me, bathrooms, they need bleach and Pine Sol, you know. One use 1 part bleach and 9 parts water. Well, yeah, but don't bleach if you spray it on something dark like this shirt. Wouldn't it leave spots uh, on your clothes or something? Yeah. I spray Febreze too, but I don't trust that as. Now bleach, I do bleach my dishes. I put a cup of bleach in my dishwater. Yeah, I put plenty of soap and plenty of bleach. Yeah. And I use Pine Sol in my laundry. Of course, it sort of eats wears the fabrics out a little faster, but I don't care. You just go no further than your property, Gail. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. You can't get depressed. Now, a lot of times, if you're fine with that, that's fine. But I try to fight against depression, because depression is just a bigger killer as a lot of other things. I will believe the president when he said that, yeah, there is people that get super depressed and this, that, and the other. Well, there's things to fight against that. I arts and craft, painting. I mean, I forget Half-Shell's name half the time, but she does arts and crafts. I do arts and crafts. It don't have to be pretty. It don't have to. All it just got to suit you. Like a scrapbook or whatever. Stuff like that. I mean, we're not doing it to make a living or this, that, and the other. We're just doing it to keep our mind stuff busy. It's like putting a puzzle together. Well, activity. I mean, I get around here right now. I've got 2,038 steps, and I've been asleep. Let me see how many hours I've been asleep. Wrong way, wrong direction. Come on, one more. Whoop, that's a workout. I slept 11 hours and 41 minutes from last night to in the last 24 hours. So I've been asleep half of it. So of course I'm old, but take care of your loved ones in this. I mean, if you love them, it's just like put your seatbelt on. Tell them, hey, don't mind being right up there on them. I mean, they can say, well, he's a gripey old man, or she's a pestful person, but if you don't care for somebody, you wouldn't say nothing at all. That's the way I look at it. So Try to say as much as you can to protect the other person. Well, it's a lot of people have that when they come back from the wars and stuff like that. Even when I was in there, they have that. They have that from it's a form of depression or a loss, and basically uh, it's awful bad that people have that. To me, I never was claustrophobic, but I've got where in my later years I got since they put that mask on me and treated me for my cancer in my mouth and all that. I got claustrophobic, and then when I got fat, I got scared of heights. Damn, I'm falling apart. Yeah, I mean we've all I even take a panic medicine for anxiety. That's what they call it. I call it panic medicine. But I learned a long time ago, do the best you can. When my wife was so sick and dying and this, that, and the other, I did the best I can as long as I could. And it didn't save her. It might have extended her life a little longer, but basically, do the best you can. 70s. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, come tell you of it. Yeah, a little bit of germs don't hurt. I mean, kids like put. Uh, we lost our first baby, and then we lost another one along the way. And when my son was born, my wife wouldn't put him down in the dirt. I said, "Put that kid down in the dirt." And I said, because I mean, you have to be exposed to so much germs so you can build up your immune system. Yeah, he sure did. And he didn't even have kids. Yeah, Dr. Spock didn't even have kids. He never had any kids. Well, if you want to find out anything about kids, you usually ask a woman that's had some. Not so much the daddy. I just did what the mama said. Or you ask your grandma or your mother. I mean, that you survived, so they must have done something right, you know. But home remedies, people say, oh, you can't use that, this, that, and the other. Well, yeah, you can. They said now the thinning of blood, like taking blood thinners, helps fight against the COVID. I didn't know that till I read that somewhere. Yeah, you lose the ability to fight them off. Yeah, well, they used to call that witchcraft or what else they called it. Uh, a lot of pagans. Now, I'm a child of a living God, but I believe in a lot of pagan ways. Home remedies. Uh, uh, I'm superstitious as all get out, so that's pagan. Actually, if you're a Christian, you ain't supposed to be and I ain't a Christian because I'm not like Christ. After that, what it means, I'm not. I ain't that good. But it don't hurt to try some remedies. They used to, boy, if you cough, they'd give you some a spoonful of X, make you eat it. They'd give you some black drought. It's a long time ago. Or if you had pain, they'd give you laudanum, which is basically morphine. All kinds of crap. But skunk oil for the croup. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Found out the Amazon's got where they're getting all their medicine anyway. My grandmother. Yeah, a lot of older people, they knew what herbs and spices and this, that, and the other, and they call us pagans now or whatever. But hey, I still collect crap. I ain't lying. Spider webs to stop the bleeding. You know, Sugar will stop bleeding also. But to me, I believe that, you know, you could believe like in God or Jesus Christ and still believe in a lot of old home remedies and this, that, and the other, and a lot of old fashioned ways, like, you know, superstitious ways. You know, my mother didn't like screech owls. If she heard a screech owl, that meant somebody's going to die. So there you go. And it's like a flock of crows is called a kindness. They used all them old words. But this pandemic is a plague. It's a plague sent on mankind for not listening to them. And it's a plague that, or disease or a pandemic, they could be easily won. Wash your hands, stay away from people, wear your mask, blah, blah, blah. Well, people ain't, they're, I don't know whether they're lazy or don't give a damn or ignorant. I don't know what the hell their problem is. Put on the damn mask. I'm not out that much in public anyway. Well, that I've heard them call that too, but actually it's called a kindness, like a flock of geese or whatever. Murderer. Let's see here. Try to read these, and they're so small. They need to. I'm going to get a tablet out. Okay. Well, people back in the day, I think they were closer to nature. They knew when the bad cold spell was coming. They'd watch the animals. They knew when a bad spell was coming. They knew, you know, when the weather was turning bad. They knew when you know, they knew a lot more about nature than we do nowadays. And a lot of people, you know, they've left that behind. You know, you could tell if you watch the animals if it's going to be a bad winter. You could watch the animals put if a storm was coming in, or this that. People don't pay no attention. You could walk right by somebody, they don't even acknowledge that you exist. They got their heads in that phone. That ain't no lie there. And it surprised me that they even get the pandemic to begin with, because uh, they don't never recognize nobody, this, that, and the other. And the older you get, they got where they exclude you from anything. What's this? Okay. Well, that worked. Over there we go. I won't call myself a Christian either. Christian means like you're like Christ. I'm not like Christ. I mean, he was one of a kind. Well, like I said, I'm not perfect, and God knows you're not perfect. Hell, He created you, but He gave you the common sense and this, that, and the other to put your faith in Him. It's just like worrying about something. Worrying don't change anything. Let me change the damn thing. Uh, it's like King David. He prayed and prayed and prayed to save that child, and after that child was dead, because God said He's going to take it, he said, "Well, feed me." You know, it was over. But he did the best he could up until the time he couldn't do no more. So there you go. To me, I'm going to do the best I can up until the time I go, and then I can't do no more. You know. But I give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes that gets me in trouble. Uh, but like I said, this pandemic, plague, or hoax, well, we've already excluded it. Ain't no hoax. Now, between a plague and a pandemic, I don't think there's much difference. It just depends on how many people die, I guess. It's like a depression and a recession. A recession's when your neighbor ain't got no work. A depression's when you ain't got no work. You got to go to work. Oh, you take care too, hon. You're working now, huh? Hmm. Uh, bye bye. You take care, hon. Oh, I'm no judge either, honey. I've done things in my life that make your hair curl up. But I thank God I was been forgiven, and I ain't doing what just to repent is not do that again. So I'm not doing a lot of stuff again. It's change your ways. Mm. Uh, I do know one thing: if they need to get a hurry up and get a handle on this, because 250,000 people in America is not nothing to sneeze about. I wonder how many people's died worldwide. Somebody Google that and see how many people's died worldwide of the coronavirus. Tell me how many people have died, because I know it's got to be over 1 million people has died, probably close to 5 million. If 250,000 people died in America, France has hit it hard a couple of times. They were losing 1,500, 2,000 a day. We're losing about 2,000 a day. So that's quite a bit. That's a lot of people. I have trouble. I'm going to get my glasses done. These glasses, it's hard for me to see a little bitty print anymore. I figured the hell I could read the sideline as well as I can. Get it up, get it up in my face. Oh, go blind because of diabetes. And there you go. Mm. Has anybody that we know close to you has got the disease yet, or the corona? Only thing I know is my niece and her husband, my nephew, and that's about all I know that has got it. That I know for sure that's what they were diagnosed with. So, you know, 1.3 million, huh? That's a lot of people. When of course, that is a lot of people that won't be here come first of the year. You know, and then ain't done people dying still. I mean, that's too many people. That's a me. You know, that's probably a 3.3 million. That's a little less than a quarter, I guess. Uh, yeah. So you know, it'd be almost a half, 1.5 million people. You know, that's what irritates 1.5 million people from something that could probably been prevented pretty well. That's what I'm saying. Probably could have been prevented. Yeah. So be sure to tell your loved ones, hey, you know, you don't have cousins left, so far you know that know all of them in the family. Can you haven't lost anyone? That's great. But it's just used. I mean, it's senseless. That's what I want to say. It's damn senseless. Because you've got to get out and go grocery shopping, this, that, and the other. I mean, how long is a common person like me, I don't work, going to have to wear that mask or wear them gloves or whatever, you know? damn it, I'll wear it. Let's say I'm out 8 hours and I only have to end up wearing it for an hour and a half. Because I mean, when I'm riding in a car by myself or something, I don't have to wear it. If I'm ain't around nobody, I don't have to wear it. If I pull up to a Sonic or something like that where they can just bring my food out to me, I'll put something over my face while they're standing there. But that's about it. And then once they leave, I roll the window up and uh, spray the outside of the bags and go for it. I don't know. It's warmed up pretty good. I've been having trouble sleeping. I've been having big, bad migraine headaches with my eyes. So I apologize if I don't read all these comments. I mean, I read them, but I don't read them out loud. Mm. Uh, national news stuff, national news stuff. That's all that is. Beeping on my phone. I look for, by January, I'm hoping that Biden can hurry up and get a task force in there and get this. I think President Trump's just thrown up his hands and just said, forget it. I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, come on, phone. Here we go. People wear the cloth masks. They need to wash them. That's for damn sure. Or spray them down with alcohol or something. I use a lot of. I got paper masks, cloth masks, respirators. I got all kinds of crap. But you got to clean them. I usually dip them in my alcohol solution in water and just hang them up and let them dry. I don't throw them in the dryer. Yeah, a lot of people. I don't sleep very many hours a night either. About 5 or less is what I'm getting. So we're about in the same boat. And I don't know. The doctors even give me sleeping medication. Said, "Well, are you stressed?" Well, no, I ain't stressed about nothing. I mean, my bills are paid. I've got plenty of food. I mean, I'm a long ways from being home and indigent or whatever you want to call it. But I just thought to myself, well, there ain't nothing wrong with monetizing because that's YouTube paying you. I ain't going to have no Patreon or all the other crap. I don't want it. I didn't really want to monetize, but a friend of mine said, well, they'll show your channel more and maybe, you can get more people watching. So I said, oh, that's nice. I think that was Jan that popped up. I got to wait for it to pop up here. Yeah, hi, Jan. I've been watching your videos. I don't blame you. She can't get out and make any new ones, I guess. She's putting up the older ones, but I still love watching them. I really do. She shows some very. You guys sub one another. Out there, if you haven't, you know. Well, I'm thinking it's a good thing. I don't know. I mean, I've got plenty of, you know, subscribers. I just don't get the 4,000 views a month because I basically just put up a little video and put one up every day, though. But I'm going to get more watch time having a hangout. So I'll have to put a couple, 3 hangouts up a month or something like that. But right off the bat, I'm going to put a hang up. uh, I'm going to go one every evening for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Talk about the latest topics like the pandemic, the plague, or whatever. I mean, uh, maybe should talk about is Trump going to leave the White House or going to have to be drug out of there? He says he's going to come back in 2024. He's welcome to it. I mean, the American people, I hope there was no shenanigans in the election, because, and I'll go with the majority who spoke, whoever it is. It could be Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care. As long as the majority goes for it. And there wasn't no cheating. Oh, there's probably a little bit of cheating, but there ain't very much of it. Mm. Faith Walker, Todd. Well, I don't know whether all of them voted for Biden or not, but apparently he's going to be our new president. I'm more worried about who's going to be my mayor and little offices around here, the county sheriff and all that crap. Well, I'm still alive. Good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, they say. Put your faith in God and keep going is the way I look at it. I don't know if they did that or not. I'm not going to really get into politics because it's going to take somebody a hell of a lot smarter than me. I put my career in biology for years. Politics, not so much. I think they all lie. That's my motto. I think they're all liars. And they all got their own agenda. That's for sure. Like old Carter raised the price of peanuts. Yep, peanut butter wasn't real cheap till he got in there. Well, I dropped that, didn't it? I didn't need it anyway. I'm trying to get a pop. I drunk my milk. Let's see what else I said here. What else say? Well, I heard a bunch of stuff. I don't know what's true and what ain't true. All I do know that he'll have to leave office, and this Biden guy's going to have to go in there. I hope he does something. I just hope that they do something about this coronavirus, whoever it is. My back has been doing a little bit better. I bought me some of them patches that somebody on here told me. I put one on. It's doing a little bit better. I ain't been lifting too much stuff. Not over 50 pounds anymore, period. If it's over 50 pounds, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm done. I ain't going to pick it up. Well, school. Yeah, I mean, I've got one great grandson that's in school. He's in first grade, I believe it is. And they're doing his teaching at home. Of course, he's got 3 other children, so but he was old enough to go to school, pre-K or kindergarten or first grade. I can't remember one of them. But anyway, they're trying to teach him at home because the school's shut down. But hell, I think at that age, I probably could handle it. They get up there at trigonometry, calculus, and all the other stuff. I don't know where I can handle that too much. Yeah, at the college level, there's a lot of college levels where you're doing it from home. And then I heard there was a neighborhood over here that they hired a school teacher to teach about 15 kids. And of course, they have to be, corona free and all this other stuff. But the individual parents hired this teacher to teach their kid. And of course, she teaches them at American Legion, I think, Hall or somewhere like that. They rented it or whatever. I forget which one it was, because our schools are closed. So there you go. Well, hello. I don't know. Like I said, politics and what they're going to do. I think what you're going to have to do yourself is just use your own good common sense. And whatever you decide, basically you decided it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, could be good, could be bad, but damn it, it's up to you. I believe in freedom to make your own decisions. Shit, hopefully they're good ones. Well, I try not to lift over 50 pounds anymore. That 250 pounds up in my waist was too much. Well, there's a lot you can find out now. You can set up a curriculum or a class that you wanted to teach on history and this, that, and the other. Now, my wife, when my son was getting a divorce 100 years ago, from his second wife, I think it was, not his third wife, his second wife. He'd been married 3 times. She had the two boys, and they were little. One was in first grade, I think, and the other one was in the third grade. And she didn't know much about teaching them. She wanted me to help them. I was busy working. And she learned them how to read the newspaper, or taught them how to learn, not learn them, but taught them how to learn to read the newspaper and read a map and things that was way, because hell, they wasn't old enough. I said, well, I said, Kathy, I said, that's a sixth grade level to read the newspaper. But she learned them how to read the newspaper, taught them about the Bible. My wife was super religious. And so when they got to school, they went the next following year, and they were bored, because Grandma, she taught them the latest stuff, taught them about politics and anything you can find out in the newspaper. She talked about it. But that's what she learned how to do. Taught them how to do is to read the newspaper, and let's see, when they were in school, he was in the fourth grade, I think, or fifth. Might have been fourth or fifth. Can't remember. I taught him, helped him, I showed him. We set up a deceleration plan. And then they said, well, that's a little advanced for his class. And I said he understood how to do it. I made him, and he explained how you heat up the water, and the steam comes off, leaves the salt behind. So he knows how to. I said I taught him stuff like a prepper. In other words, he gets trapped on a desert island. He can distill the water, and that way he wouldn't have to drink salt water. But it was a piece of rubber hose, a Coke can, and a Bic lighter. So there you go. Let me read this one here. Well, I hope, and like I said, God, we don't need to lose any kids, and they don't need to be sick. I mean, it just bothers me that, that's our future. Losing some old bird like me, hell, you ain't losing much. Losing a little old kid almost brings me to tears. 2 or 3 years old, or 5 years old, or 10 years old. They ain't lived their life. You don't know what they're going to do. Hell, they could be the one that invents, global energy, all kinds of stuff. I mean, their future is ahead. Mine's in the past, and that's what's so sad. I mean, they are our future. Well, like I said, it's just, we've got to take better care of each other and better care of our loved ones. And we've got to use common sense. I mean, to me, it's like them people that were out there voting for these constituents. A lot of them didn't wear a mask. A lot of them now are having COVID in the Capitol. And, I mean, does it really make any damn difference if you're dead? That's what I'm saying. No, they don't know how to live off the land. Our kids don't know anything but looking at a TV screen or playing a game on the phone. They're not even got an imagination. In our day, we didn't have all this stuff, so we had to have an imagination to go with it. So therefore, I don't know. what we could do to improve it, because they need to know and be tech savvy. Trust me, they need to know everything there is to know about electronics. But you gotta need to mix a little old with the new. It's just like here when the power went out. I had candles, I had kerosene lights. I didn't even turn on kerosene light. We had battery operated lights. I had solar lights. I had a little bit of old and a little bit of the new, like propane, butane, electric generators, solar generators. Didn't have no wind turbines up, but I had the solar. But you got kids nowadays need to have a wider spray or expansion of what they need to learn, and that's the truth. They and it's up to us. What happened in my day? You learned everything from home. We had schools, one room schoolhouse type crap. One school teacher probably had about an eighth grade education herself. Uh, but really, you need to take the time, and a lot of people can't because they got one or two jobs and all this other stuff, and society, so they're so stressed out. But it's up to you to teach your children what they should know in life. You know, my grandchildren, I showed them how to change fuses in a car, check the water in the battery, the radiator, the transmission fluid, everything about a car, even how to change a tire. Now, I had one grandson, my granddaughter married this guy. He didn't even know how to change a damn tire. Now, that's pretty damn sad. He's like 30 years old. My daughter had to go up there and show him how to change a damn tire. No, they quit teaching cursive writing. They just quit it, and I think that's a loss. It's like uh, what do they call it? The Chinese calligraphy. Got to get it right in a minute. Uh, uh, Beautiful calligraphy and I don't think they teach it in China anymore either. But in the we used to do all kinds of writing, old English writing. We used to do calligraphy. We used to do all mechanical drawing, just standard stuff. Now they just want you to print everything because basically that's what a computer does. It prints it. And well, that is still not a signature. I hate to tell you, it's legally not legal on paper. If it's not a signature, and if you print something, of course you make an X, and if that's your mark, that's your mark. But a signature is cursive writing. I get your story. So who knows? We've got to read this next one. Well, I don't know how smart I am, but in the Middle Ages, when Rome left, they called it the Dark Ages because people didn't even have sewers and stuff like that. Yeah, you can't hardly read a lot of people's writing and this, that, and the other. They don't even write pretty anymore. They all write like doctors. I used to have a real pretty signature, and not over the years arthritis eat it up. But that's what happens. It's just we need to spend more time with our children and our loved ones. And of course, they'd miss us more when we go. But the point about it is, there's a lot of knowledge. I used to sit around with my aunt and my grandmother. They're pretty well the ones that raised me. Mom and dad was too busy working. But I spent time with, now she was born before the Civil War. She's a teenager when the Civil War came through. My grandmother was. And she, like I said, she could taught me a lot of things and showed me a lot of things over the years. She's the one that had all the home remedies. Well, You'd be surprised what you know how to fix if you have to get down there to it. We used to have to, we had the old generators instead of alternators, and we'd have to had bushings, and we'd have to put new bushings in our old alternator. That's our bearing to keep it from riding, And it was like a generator. They called them generators, not alternators. Then they upgraded to alternator, which is just a word saying high class generator. We used to have the old 6-volt generators. And the batteries were 6 volts, not 12. Boy, that took me back a while. Oh, hush now, don't start that stuff. Well, we're going to talk about homesteading and this, that, and everybody thinks that's really fascinating. I was raised on a farm, and our house garden was 5 acres. And we raised everything from sugar beets, made our own sugar and everything else. But like I said, it's just people don't know how to do a lot of things anymore. They're depending on others. It's just like I know how to run a computer, but do I know how to build one? No. Can I figure out a 2-cycle engine? Pretty much. There'd be enough leftover junk that I could turn a regular car engine into a steam engine. The only bad thing, the walls are not thick enough. You'd want to probably grab a diesel engine to turn it over to steam. I could show you how to make a gasifier to run a car or a small engine off of wood, because it makes its own gas. I mean, I know a lot of things, but we don't have to do that anymore. They did that during the war, and it wasn't the Desert Storm either. I don't even call that a war. War was a long time ago. It used to last 4 or 5 years. Now the war wouldn't last 15 minutes. I could just push the bomb. How prepared are we for the next shutdown? Have you got enough food to last 3 months? Now, I ain't talking about water, this, that, and the other. I'm talking about food. Now, if you're on rural water, this, that, and the other, or well, you got water. But how much food do you got? Will it last 3 months? Everybody, I talked to one prepper. He said, well, you better start between now and the takeover is what he called it, in January the 20th. I'm worried about the 3 months after January the 20th. February, March, and April. I don't look for too much to go on between now and January, except for one person leaving, the other one coming in. But have you got enough food to last 3 months? Now, really think about it and be honest with yourself. Yeah, I got enough food. I'd have to get my preps, but I've got plenty enough food to last 3 months because I've got about 10 tons of dried products. I thought, well, okay. But another thing I believe in, just having food is one thing. Have you got the spices? Like the seasoning. I mean, I like my food. I don't want to just bland white rice. Okay, I'm living on white rice. No, I'd rather have a Spanish rice or rice pudding or something. I can make something out of it. My dogs are all pawed over there, but I have to let them out here in a few minutes. But anyway, that's the questions you need to answer yourself. Do you have enough of this? Do you have enough medical supplies? And everybody worried about, if they can't handle a little shutdown due to a pandemic, what in the hell are they going to do when shit hits the fan? When it really hits the fan. I'm saying during the pandemic, okay, we just don't want to go out for 3 months. We could go hustle up a little bit of food at Walmart, this, that, and the other, or go buy a hamburger in a drive-through, and that's just a shutdown. Have you got enough food to last 3 months? What if shit really hit the fan? We ain't got a government no more. And I heard this simple thing. Well, we're going to live off the land and we're going to kill deer. Well, Let me tell you, there's not that many deer versus that many people going hungry. In other words, you see what I'm getting at? I mean, if one deer would last a family of four, maybe a month. Okay. So therefore, you got to kill 12 deer a year. Well, everybody kills 12 deer a year. They'd be on the endangered species list. Hello. Grade 9, huh? Yeah, I like good spicy food. I like to make lemon cake with squirt real lemon in and make a gelatin out of it and sugar gelatin, squirt it full lemon cake, strawberry. I don't know how. You want something, you know. It's all right to just eat beans and rice and and floured pancakes or whatever. But I like a little spice with my stuff, a little flavor. Hello, Lost on Land. That's so fuck it. I'm still alive, aging out. I'll be 90 in August. Yeah, I'm about to age out. like the, but people need to learn and be trained to what could happen in the future. I mean, next year uh, that get together down in Texas, I'm going. Lost on Land. I would have been there this year, but I don't know. Next year I'm coming. Well, I look a little bit aged out and beat up, but I'm still here. But look what the future that you could actually do. If it did shut down, what could you make your life better? Because it's going to shut down for at least 3 months. Okay. Hopefully you got enough money. I think they need to get together. Now, this is my opinion. $1,200 was a joke. That it didn't really help anyone, in my opinion. Uh, you'd have. I think they should start off with 5,000, and if you're married with two, they should start off with 10,000. You know, that'll get you back up on your feet, pay your back rent. Well, I can't wait to meet you too. But that'll keep you back on your feet and everything else. I mean, just think about it. If you're smart, and you'd have to be smart because it'd be a one-time gift. It's just like when you're married. You can give your wife or your husband a $100,000 gift one time, tax free. If you're gonna do it one time. So to me, if they gave $5,000 to $10,000 for a family, a one-time gift to get you back on your feet, get pay your car up and this, whatever. I think that's the only way they're going to get it done and help economy. Now, you have to overlook some of the people that's got jobs and this, that, and the other. But I think when you do give them something like that, you're going to have to put them like the WPA did. They're going to have to get out there and do something. You know what I'm saying? Adopt a street, adopt a road, clean up the trash, all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of work that needs to be done by the government. Oh, you did? I got a bunch of paint. I need to paint something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I need to paint something. Uh, I need to start painting paintings again, but I've lost interest. I've been wanting to go camping. And I've got my ambulance already fixed out and decked out and ready to go. Just need to, I got my generator in it. Everything I need. I'm thinking about going to courtside. Lost on Land, if you still out there, you thinking about going to courtside this year? I thought about it, but they ain't gonna have the rubber trompe rendezvous anyway. I don't think if you're going to save gold and silver and this, that, and the other, why don't you just save change? It's an American currency. Even if crap hit the fan, it's still worth something. Copper's worth something. Nickel's worth something. So is silver. It's still worth something. No, it don't matter as long as you're keeping yourself busy, and that's a great project. Painting your house during a pandemic. I got plenty of paint in this house. What I need to do is sort through this house and uh, things I need, things I want, and things I don't need, and I can put away or move or do something. Because this house is way too crowded. I mean, I got stuff stacked to the ceiling. See that? There's some paintings and stuff over there. I sleep in the front room. There's my poor old bed all laid out. There's a TV that I can't figure out how to work it. There's a bunch of paintings around. But I need basically to do a lot of do I need this or do I need that? And move back in my big bedroom. This house is 3,000 square feet. My front room is 36 feet by 36 feet, and I barely have enough room to wander through it. Well, I was wanting to go this year. My son wants me to go back up into Nevada where I bought that land, but I don't know. It's going to be cold up there. And like I said, I'm going to do a lot coming spring. I keep saying that every year. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. Come every spring. Well, I'm going to put a cabin up there. Chris is going to put one way up on the mountain. I don't want to go up there. I can't breathe. It's like 10,000 feet or 9,800 or something like that. And the oxygen level ain't there. I can't breathe up there. And so I ain't going to do that. So I'm going to go down the middle one in the ones halfway down the mountain, and then there's one right in the valley. But I might build my cabin in one of them. I sort of like the one that's halfway up on the hill, and you can see people for 100 miles. The other one is close to the railroad track. I don't think I want to hear the train come by. I thought about buying me some land in Arizona. I went out there a couple of years ago, and that's when I bought the land in Nevada instead of Arizona. Somebody told me, well, it's going to get 112 in the summer. And I said, that's too hot for me. But the other one gets about 12 degrees in the wintertime, so that's too cold for me. I thought, well, if I had bought one north and then one south, I could just switch my summers and winters. Yeah, it's cold in Nevada. Northern Nevada up by Idaho, you bet it gets cold. I'm up there by, it's Montello, Nevada, but it's up there by Pikes Peak. I got one place up there on Pikes Peak. Now, Pilot Peak. Let me get the name right. Pilot Peak, not Pikes Peak, but Pilot Peak. Up on the mountain. If I live another 10 years, I'm going to have me a cabin. Oh, a lot of people don't like the desert look, but I do. I like the, of course, now up on the mountain, it's got pines and cedars and all that crap, but I sort of like the desert look, I mean, I've lived in the desert and I've lived up on the mountains and I've lived out by the coast, and, it just depends on, I like the solitude's what I like. I like the peace and quiet. And basically, I thought about just being a nomad and traveling around, but friends of mine, they had a hard time staying on land. They even shut down the BLM, Bureau of Land Management. There's a lot of places. So that's when I started buying property, because if you can't, they won't let you camp nowhere, then you're stuck, So I went ahead and bought my property. That way they can't say you can't stay overnight on it or whatever. But like I said, that one on the mountain's got it's got electricity and this, that, and the other, but the other ones don't have no electricity. But I got generators, I got solar, I got everything I need. I thought about using it for a bug out place in case the pandemic gets bad. But I live in an elderly community, and it ain't unusual now to hear an ambulance about it once a week coming out and getting somebody. We even stopped our get together meetings. We used to have a potluck. We don't do that no more. We used to have a couple of annual meetings every year to see what we was going to do into the lake, do at the lake, and this, that, and the other. The management, the cleaning up, and all that. We don't do that no more. We ain't done crap since this pandemic started. Pandemic, plague, and it sure ain't no hoax. But like I said, most of us here are over 65. We got them up to 100 years old lives here. Everybody owns their own home. And that's, we've lost a lot of people due to this. It is hard to boondock. I like boondocking, but I think I like the idea of owning it better. Because I don't want nobody knocking on my door at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Well, you got to leave." Well, no, I don't want to do that after I go to bed. But now I don't mind staying at state and federal and city parks or whatever. When you rent a space, that's what I like. I rented a bunch of space, and now on federal land, Bureau of Land Management, let's say state the federal parks like Yosemite, Sulphur, and places like that. I've got a federal card. Then if it's Corps of Engineers, since in the military, I don't have to pay nothing either, or much at all. And state parks are not that expensive. Some people, they charge the snot out of them. But like I said, they don't charge me that much because it can get expensive. I think I pay anywhere from $6 to $8 a day. Sometimes people pay $36, $40 a day. So mine ain't that expensive. I think as much as I paid one time was $10 a day. And that was full hookups. So I had water, electric, and everything else. Are you staying in a park? Well, that's not parking lot tonight. You staying in a parking lot? I don't know where I'm going to do that. I'd have to get my gun out. I just like the idea of paying, somebody. Then that way, that's my space. Nobody's supposed to bother me and all that crap. Now, I'll tell you one thing, Montana. If I had a chance to live in Montana one time, and I'm afraid now, if I ever bought some property in Montana, I would not come back. I loved Montana. I got a daughter that lives in Colorado up in the mountains. But Montana is a place all its own, especially that northern route that goes into the neck of Idaho. What is the name of that lake? It's up there. Crater Lake or something like that. Well, BLM is free, but you only stay 14 days. Now, some places on BLM, they have a Bureau of Land Management also has federal parks like Yellowstone, Yosemite, Sulphur, Oklahoma. That's BLM land, BLM parks. But I just like the idea of staying. I got water and I got a bathhouse. Of course, I've got a portable shower. But I thought if the pandemic gets that bad, I'll either stay here at my house or I'll probably go to Montana or not Montana, but Nevada, up there where I got that property and just uh, move me in a shipping container or something like that. Start my cabin. Oh, boondocking is mean you just stay like on a city street. Lost Down Land can explain it a lot better than I can. But it's just basically being homeless and parking wherever you can get away with. That's what I call it. And you have no utilities or no amenities. Yeah, that's what boondocking is. That's what I always called it. You got to move after 14 days. But I think you got to go 25 miles from point to point or something like that. I mean, I've not done that much boondocking. I really haven't. I stayed in a Walmart parking lot one time. That was it. She's in a parking lot apartment complex parking lot. Basically, now she's probably got a friend that stays in the apartment, and she's just parked out there outside. I mean, it's different to me. State boondocking is no amenities, and you're just whatever you got in your vehicle or whatever. That's where you do it. Now, boondocking on federal land or boondocking on a city street or a state park. But like I said, people, I've got gypsy blood, and Lost Down Land's got gypsy blood. A lot of people have, but they like to just get out. I mean, they after sitting in a house for a while, they just like I'm trapped. I got to get away, and I feel so sorry for people's health. I've got a lot of friends on here that their health they just can't get out and do things anymore. I had a friend that was a gypsy type person. Uh, he lived in England, and then his health got so bad he had to move in sticks and bricks. He goes, he had to move back into an apartment. He had to sell his RV and this, that, and the other. So it's just a way of life, or a way to get to feel free. That's all I'm saying. But you remember that's all you got is whatever fits in that car or van or whatever. Now, some people do it on weekends. Now, I'm a weekend camper type person, or a couple of weeks or whatever. Go on holiday for 2 or 3 weeks, or every weekend or whatever. During the spring and the fall, you hardly ever see me here at this house. I usually go camping up until January, till Christmas, and then basically the last of December. And then I stay home to February. I see the rest of January, February, March, and then end of March I'm gone again. So that's what I usually do. So this pandemic sort of put a clinch in everything. I told a couple of friends that were up in Nevada they couldn't find no place to stay because BLM was shut down. They wouldn't let you stay out there, whatever. I said, just go over at my property, and if somebody bugs you, just tell them, hey, give me a call. But I said they needed a place to stay, and I have 3 properties along in Nevada. I said, just pull up at one of them. They knew where it was at. And I said, just camp there as long as you want to. Just carry off your trash. And a lot of things that's hurt a lot of camp people. People just abuse the land. They'll change oil, let it run on the ground, throw trash out. No, when you go to a BLM land, you leave it better than what you found it. And that's my motto. I usually pick up all the trash if there's what in my area and around my area and everything else. Because I do not like filth. Well, like I said, with this COVID-19 and this pandemic, and we're plague, I could see where being a gypsy might help. They used to do that back in the Middle Ages when the plague came by. They called it the plague. Uh, the Black Death. They people would leave and go to another town. Of course, they just spread it. But they was trying to stay away from it. If it gets that bad here, there's going to be a lot of people trying to stay away from it. I think basically that vaccine comes out. I don't know where I'm going to be the first one to take it, but I'll probably be the middle one that takes it. Depending on, see how it works on it, because every vaccine's got basically a downside to it or a side effect. You live in Mississippi, northern or southern Mississippi? I used to live down in Louisiana when I was a kid. I was about 14. Lived down there among them Cajuns. I'm telling you, they lived out on the bayou, and that was their road. That bayou was their road. They didn't have a car; they had a boat. Kentucky's pretty. There's some towns back east and up north and everything else I really like. In Pennsylvania, huh? So they had to recount the vote, huh? Pennsylvania. I think they're going to do it. I don't know. This election stuff's got everybody crazy. I'm more worried about the pandemic than I am any damn election. Southern, huh? Alabama. I love Alabama. There's a lot of parts of the South I like. My grandmother, she was Puritan, which they call Amish. She was Pennsylvania Dutch. They came from Pennsylvania. She went and married a guy from Arkansas. They had a colony down there of them Pennsylvania Dutches, which is basically a High German language. I left when I was about 10 years old. I had enough of that religion and enough of farm living. Yeah, like that show Green Acres. I had enough of that farm living. Yeah. I supported myself since I was 10 years old. So that's 80 years I've been supporting myself. Yep. Went through all kinds of wars and everything else. Starvation, depression, the Dust Bowl, you name it, I went through it. I'm Irish too. I'm not Indian. I'm just Irish and English and Swedish and Norwegian. And my mother was a full-blood Irish woman. And Dad's people, they came from basically Justin, which would be Norway, Holland, up in there. They left, his people came to America in 1620. I got the papers to prove it. I mean, every part of the country is beautiful. And that might suit some people, and then it might not suit other people. I sort of like the mountains. I don't care much about Las Vegas and the city lights. I don't care about any lights in any town, New York or any other town. I don't like. I like nature. I like out. Out in enjoying yourself where there's not a whole bunch of people. I like to talk to people, this, that, and the other, but I don't want where there's just like the streets of New York or what. I don't, or the Mardi Gras. I don't, it, it ain't, it's just too much for me. I don't like going to big football games or the stadiums or any of that other stuff. I'd rather go up and see just nature itself. I enjoy sitting under a tree and watching a squirrel gather up the nuts for winter, or sitting on the ocean side watching the waves come in and count how many minutes or how many seconds between one wave and another wave. You know, I just me and a whole bunch of people know. I don't mind 25, 30 people, but I'm saying hundreds of people. No, I don't like that. And I don't like a bunch of just, I went got to go see the lights. No, I don't care much about a light. It's flat in the Midwest, but it's got mountains. I mean, it's got hills, so on and so forth. Fly fishing, a lot of times they fish like they do down south with worms, worms and stuff like that. I like fly fishing myself too. I even got an old fly fishing rod. I've got a lifetime hunting and fishing, but I don't hunt at all. But I got the permit or whatever you want to call it. But I usually fish. But I'm the type of person I like perch better than anything, about as big as your hand. Perch about as big as your hand. I mean, catfish, they taste a little muddy. Even if it's blue cat or whatever, it still tastes muddy. Or channel cat, it still tastes muddy. Ocean perches, I like ocean fish. They got that red ocean perch. It's pretty good. Yeah. Well, up in Oregon and Washington and up in there, they've got big pines and cedars and stuff that go right to the ocean, right down on the ocean. Got the rainforest up there with the vampires. What was the name of that town? Anyway, that vampire show, they was up in Oregon, or I think it was, or Washington, one of the other, Oregon, I think. Yeah, it rains every day, just like Florida. Ain't too fond of Florida. No Florida for me. I lived out the Keys. The longest bridge there was, how long you drove for 3 days before you ever got to the end of the Florida Keys. I was a kid when I was down there. I seen a lot of the United States before I ever got married. And I got married at 16. So I've been married all my life. She passed away in 2013, November the 8th, 2013. Then I'm by myself now. Yes, I've been in Kentucky. I love Kentucky. The bluegrass in Kentucky. Got a lot of horse ranches and stuff. It's just like upper New York. It's beautiful farmland. Now, if you go to the big town and this, that, and other, yeah, you get stuck with what the big town's got to offer. But they have some beautiful countryside. Pennsylvania's another one. I didn't like Florida because I don't like the idea of you have to watch your kids getting eat up with alligators. I'd rather be up in the high country where to worry about them getting eat up by bears. And the snakes down there in Florida are horrible. You got a bunch of reptiles that they brought from boa constrictors and pythons and stuff like that. They're not poisonous, but they're all over the damn place. I like northern Kentucky, or north west Kentucky, I guess is what they're going to call it. Tennessee, I was around the little bitty town of Linden, places like that. I like little towns. I was up in Dallas, Oregon, where they had cherry trees and pear trees and apple trees. Dallas. And I was up at Pateros, Washington. That's right before you go over into Canada. And they've got some beautiful countries, this, that, and the other. I just think that anymore that they got to get this pandemic under control so people can go back to their normal lives. And how much have we put on hold? Here's how much we put on hold in the last year. Let's say it's been a year. Yeah. How much have you put on hold in the last year? In what did you put on hold? Well, I couldn't go here and I couldn't go there. And, and I was afraid if I went, I couldn't get back. Did they close the border to that state, wouldn't let you in? I mean, come on, there was all kinds of crazy stuff. I usually go abroad down to Costa Rica this time of year during Christmas time because I got friends that live in Costa Rica. Well, going out of the country is a no-no. You might not never get back. My friend can't even go down and see his wife. He ain't seen her in almost a year because they can't. They got the closed borders now. So there you go. So, in the Smoky Mountains. We have tornadoes here and we have wildfires. We don't have hurricanes. We have earthquakes and tornadoes and the grass fires. That's what I got to call it. Just a bunch of grass fires. No matter what we ended up with. But like I said, I usually stay on about 2 hours. About 9 o'clock, I'll shut it down. But what is the first thing you're going to do when the pandemic's over with? Just think about that for just a minute. What would be your number one thing? I haven't even been to a garage sale. They ain't having them. And I love garage sales. I like to see what other people got tired of. I've been to thrift stores, a lot of department stores, ordered a bunch of stuff off of Amazon and eBay. And what else? That marketplace is what they call it. Buyer's guide is what I call it. But I mean, there's a lot of things that I haven't been to a walk-in theater in ever. I mean, it's been way over a year, And I always love to pick out a good show about once a month and go to and it costs me about the time me and my daughter go. She loves to go to something like that. It costs us $100. Costs me $100 to take her and get out to eat and then go to the theater and then watch the show and then come home. About $100. I do that about once a month, but I got to see all. We'd make a decision what shows we wanted to watch. So we'd go. That's where I watched all the vampire shows. Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, I love that show, Avatar. That's one of my favorite shows. The planet got tired of people and fought back. I like that. I like some of them. I like a lot of science fiction, if you know the truth, because it's make believe, and that way I don't have to cry about it. She's from Eastern Tennessee. Gail is. I love free markets. I do. We have a swap meet, they call it. Mary's swap meet. I haven't been out there either because basically they've closed it. Something on my screen. I mean, it's just put a hinder. I mean, I ain't got that many months and years left, and I want to make sure I have, things to do and this, that, and the other. At my age, I'd be the first one croak. You start buying my pine box a little early. I'm being cremated anyway. I don't have nobody. They have a deal now that Oklahoma is one of the worst places to buy skeletons. Yeah, and it's a fad now that they're putting people's skulls in their hands or whatever on people's coffee tables. Really, you want to be sitting on somebody's coffee table? That's why I'm being cremated. There's a big markup for human bones. Yeah. I like that movie Avatar, but it's about the truth. I mean, uh, if an alien came from a different country, from a different world, and came to the world, our world, hell, they would probably put it in a petri dish. You know, crazy ass damn people. People don't. I'm I am a liberal, I guess, but I'm also conservative when it comes to certain things like your morals and this, that, and the other. But a liberal, yeah, I really think that people have the right to do whatever they need to do and want to do, as long as it'll hurt somebody else. Now, do I care how many guns they have? No. So there, I'm a conservative. Liberals don't want you to have a gun. Well, hell, I think you need 15 or 20 or 30 of them. I don't give a shit. I mean, I believe in live and let live. I don't believe in being too strict on the people where they won't be themselves, or expressing their own self. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to live in a communist type country where they're afraid to express themselves, where it's their politics, their religion, or what they think, or whatever. I mean, and I want to be liberal enough that I enjoy other people's opinion. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be my way or the highway. That's what's wrong with now. A lot of liberals, not liberals, but conservatives, it's my way or the highway, and a lot of liberals, uh, they're looking out for everything. Being real strict. Oh, don't cut that tree down, or this, that, and the other. Well, I think we need a little bit of fossil fuel and a little bit of wind energy and solar energy, along with natural gas and everything else. I mean, the Bible says, what does it say? Uh, Go across the land and subdue it. You know what I'm saying? Well, in other words, use the resources. So there you go. I'm sort of in the middle, and that's why I am basically not a Republican nor a Democrat. I'm a what they call independent. That's what I've registered as. I want to make up my own mind. I don't want nobody making my mind up for me. That's the truth. Because I believe one of these days you're going to have to make up your own mind, regardless of that. It's just like Trump. President Trump has got the Republicans so scared to say anything where it's right or wrong because they're afraid of him. Hell, do I want to live like that? Hell no. And on the other hand, I don't want to follow somebody that, if that's all they want to do is hug a tree. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, maybe I need that tree for lumber. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cut down the last tree. But hell, if it's renewable energy, yes, cut it down, plant another one. You know. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm independent. I'm in the middle of the road. I will say I liked one thing Trump did. Uh, the equalization between China and us, the free trade deal. Now, some of the other stuff against the environment I didn't like. But hey, that's about good, par for the course, because a lot of it I like, a lot of it I don't like. And I don't mind telling you what I do like and what I don't like. Oh, I got a whole bunch of damn guns, but I won't show them on this channel. I won't show them. They don't need to promote. I won't. I'll show you bullets or the case it come in, but I ain't gonna show you the gun. I think. Do I say every one of them's registered? Probably not. you know, I believe I'm not a conspiracy theorist, or whatever, but I believe a lot of times you just need to have a lot of things secret. It's just like some of these preppers. Well, if you tell everything you've got, this, that, and the other, guess who? They're all going to show up on your doorstep. Yeah, I believe in gun safety. Now, I do believe that. Put them in a vault. Put them in a locked place. Put them, this, that, and the other. Yeah, I believe in gun safety because I wouldn't want a 5, 6 year old kid finding a gun, the bullets, and shooting themselves. But when my kids were in school, this has been a few years ago, my son, he had an old pickup and he had two rifles in the back glass in a little rack. And every kid in the country, they had their guns out in the parking lot. I mean, they went to school with their guns in their car, because they might want to go squirrel hunting when they get off out of school. Nobody thought about shooting one another and all this other crazy ass shit. I think that's a modern thing. Well, there you go. Hello. I believe, yeah, we need to protect our children and our pets and this, that, and the other. A gun is a gun. This could be a paperweight. It's the person that's got the damn gun, basically, and what they do with it. If they've not been trained properly or this, that, and the other, or when they get a gun, oh, I'm all of this, no, you're not. You got to think it's a weapon. It's once you pull that trigger, it's over with. You know, basically what I'm telling you. Some people shouldn't own pets. I'll be honest with you. They don't have the mentality. They don't have the patience, and to own a pet, or they don't have the finances, or a pet is not. To me, a pet. My pets are family members. They're not a possession. Basically, oh, look what I got. Or something to take out my frustrations on. No, it's yes, I want it to mind this, that, and the other, but it's basically if you can't take care of one, don't own one. I mean, there's a lot of things out here you need to rethink. Okay, if you can't afford, let's say your rent is 750, and then time you pay your utilities, it runs 1,200. 7, 8, 9, about $200 or $300 worth of utilities. If you can't afford that, don't live above your means either. Maybe you need to rent a place 350, 400 a month that you would withstand the finances of it. Well, see, a lot of people, they're when they buy a house, they push them where they can't even go out and buy a hamburger. Well, you made all the mistakes yourself. Maybe you need to buy a lesser house where you can afford a hamburger, go to the theater, or this, that, and the other. You know. Yeah, people need to learn living within their means and leave credit cards alone. And because living on credit is not living at all. And so, well, I got this big house and I got this fancy car, but you don't own it. Basically, the bank owns it. And right now, it's not a time to have the bank owning anything of yours because jobs and this, that, and the other, due to this pandemic, plague or hoax, you don't want to be owing too much out there, and that's the truth. We just try to keep everything paid for and down to a bare minimum. Sometimes it's better off to have less and own it than to have plenty and not own it and have somebody take it away from you. I'm going to tell you this story. My legs. I had an old boy hit me up one time to borrow $5,000 off of me because he was behind on his land. And I said, no. I said, I'll tell you what I will do. I said, he still owed a bunch on the land. He hadn't had it that many years. And I said, I will give you $5,000 and buy the land off of you and go pay the bank off, a mortgage company, whatever it was, and you could walk out there with $5,000. Well, needless to say, he didn't want to go that routine. He just thought I'd just give him the $5,000 and we'd be done, and he'd probably never get it back. But anyway, So later on, a year or so later, he lost the property. And he didn't end up with $5,000 in his pocket or nothing else. Now, a friend of mine said this. He said, well, that was humiliating of me to just offer him 5,000 for the land. Uh, you know, uh, I said, well, where is it humiliating? He was going to lose the land anyway. You know what I'm saying? If he couldn't pay for his land, do you think he had the money to pay me back? Probably not. So therefore, what I'm saying, what would you have done? You know, to me, I gave him a way out. He didn't want it. Did I really need the land? Of course not. But the point about it is, it was a financial endeavor. I mean, when you talk about money, land, and this, that, and the other, you know, it's different. Like, I don't like to borrow money off people, and I won't. And I don't like loaning anybody anything. You know, it's just like when you loan somebody something, you never get it back in the same condition you loaned it in, or if you get it back at all. So my question was, with what would you have done? You know, what, and would that have insulted you for a person said, no, I won't give you the, I won't loan you the money, but I'll buy the place off of you if you're going to lose it anyway. So therefore, I need an answer, if you don't mind. Curiosity. Here we go. Okay, let me see. Uh, hey, it don't matter if it's a dump or whatever, it's still your castle. You can always fix it up. Yeah, that's the way I look at stuff. And there ain't no sense. It's like a car. What are you asking a car to do? Get me there and get me back. And if it'll do that, I don't give a damn if you have to wind it up. Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't feel like I insulted the person. I gave him a way out to end up with 5,000 in his pocket and save his credit. Yeah, because once they took the property back, that hurt his credit. Yeah. So I would have took the deal. Okay, that was one vote. But I mean, I didn't, like I said, like I told him, I didn't really want the property. It was in the middle of nowhere, and no, it wasn't even had a road to it or anything else. So it was, but I thought, well, okay, I'd do the, because I knew I wasn't going to ever get my money back. And I learned my lesson about giving people money on YouTube. Trust me, I can't even get it 4,000 hours a month so I can have my $5. But no, needless to say, and another guy said, well, that was insulting. I would just, I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have let you buy it off of me. I said, well, that's your choice. And that was his choice too. But he ended up with bad credit and not $5,000. Because when you talk business, business is business. Now, if it, like my kids, I've gave them money, and hell, you ain't gonna get it back. I've gave relatives money, loan and stuff, you ain't gonna get it back. But I like I said, God has been blessed me. I don't have to borrow nothing on nobody, and that's how I look at things. Well, as old as I am, this, that, and the other, my kids, my daughter, basically, I made a mistake one time, and they sort of got me on a short leash. And my daughter, that's an accountant, she takes care of all my business crap. So basically, I get an allowance. I get my everything paid for and a little pissy ass allowance, which works for me. They learned me a lesson too. Well, I hope everybody has a nice weekend. And I hope this transition goes smoothly. And if Trump wants to win, I mean, not win, but run again in 2024, good luck. You know, I ain't saying he's the best president we've had, and I ain't saying he's the worst. But if he wants to run again, he's an American citizen. He has every bit of right to do that. He also has every right to have him recount the votes. You know, I mean, I'm all into democracy. I just don't like lies. I do not go for that lying. My neck. I think basically nowadays, human beings, if they can just be kind and considerate to each other, that's quite a bit. I mean, being kind and considerate, is I think that's where the key is on civilization. If you can't be that, you can't be civilized. Well, like I said, my kids, they really moved in and started taking more control over me and my finances after their mother died because I mean, I really didn't care. I mean, I was like this. My kids are grown, my grandkids were grown. I helped them get through college, and now my great grandchildren, they're little, so I don't have to really worry about them too much. And I mean, it's my time. That's what I told my kids. And they said, yeah, Dad, but if you get real bad off this, that, and the other, and need a liver transplant, a heart transplant, or a kidney. I said, let me tell you something. Once you've had cancer, they're not going to give you them body parts. I mean, I can't even donate blood. So I said, you think that somebody's going to give me a heart, kidney, or liver or something? I said, hell, at my age, shit, they'd be giving that to some young person that might have a chance in life. Once you reach a certain age, the doctors don't even want to work on you that much. They'll say, oh, well, he had a good life. That they'll go to spend their time on a 30-year-old and try to save them versus a 90-year-old. Think about it. Does a 90-year-old have just as much right to live as a 30? Yeah, but that ain't the way they look at it. Because everybody's going to die. It's just a matter of time. Everybody's going to die. The pandemic don't get you, a semi going down the road to get you. I tell you what's going to happen, though, if they don't get a handle on this pandemic. We are living our country so vulnerable to outside influences and everything else. It's unreal. We should not depend on any country for our oil, for our food, for anything. That's where we make a mistake. Yeah, all life is precious, but at 90, you're thinking, boy, I mean, it's just like if I decided I'd find me a girlfriend, she'd be 60 years old. Well, I got kids that age. That'd be like child molested. Yeah, I'd be 30 years older than they are. Hell, that ain't worth shit. Yeah, to me, I mean, I'm happy just by myself. I like to travel. I like to see things. Me and the dogs. The point about it is, you just ain't got nobody to share it with you. Now, my son, he's going back to work next month, and he'll be gone then. So I'll just have to take off by myself. I guess I could visit people on the road like other RVers or stuff, or other YouTubers. Like I said, I try to stay west and south. I really don't go up northeast or straight back east. I went, let's see, I went to South Carolina 3 times last year. It was year before. I think it was year before. Last year I didn't do nothing. That was a wasted year. Wasted year because of the pandemic. The bubonic plague. The pandemic, they call it pandemic. Really? I think it's a plague. Uh, I think it's a could have been called a Holocaust. It was man made, I believe. I don't think nature made that one. I think nature didn't make it. But try to put up a little bit extra every time you go out to the store or whatever. Even if it's motor oil, buy a quart or anything, buy an extra propane bottle for your grill in case the power goes out. You might have to cook on the grill. Just do a little extra, a little bit. Don't be that panic buying person because you might need that money on other things on down the road. But if you could afford $10 extra or five every time you go to the store, or $2 or $3, buy an extra can of macaroni and cheese or something. But because I believe in the months to come, and I believe it's going to be after January, and that'll be the taxes and Christmas. Don't go elaborate on Christmas either. But I think it's going to get really rough between there and April. You know, by April 15th when the taxes come due. And like I said, I'm wanting to go run around, but I'm going to, like I said, when I go run around or go camping, I go to the pump, slide my credit card in, pump the gas, and go on down the road. I don't want to go in. I don't want to, the least contact I have with the filling station people, the store people, or whatever, the better off I am. If I go to a restaurant or whatever, just go through the drive-through. You know what I'm saying? If I have to go to a store, try to pick one that ain't fully loaded with 700 or 800 people in it. Maybe you want to go to a little pop and mom place instead of a Walmart. Things that and then you really dress up. You don't care if somebody looks at you funny or what. I don't care. I'm wearing the mask, I'm wearing the gloves, and I'm spraying the hell out of myself. Because I ain't gonna never see you again anyway. So what difference does it make? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna have another at 7 o'clock till about 9. Everybody's welcome, and like I said, and we'll find something we want to talk about. Maybe we'll find something you guys want to talk about. You know, uh, you know. During the last depression, they used to sell their kids when it got bad. Set them out on the front stoop and said "children for sale." You can Google it; it's true. So, and then during the big plague, let's see, the influenza flu. Sometimes both parents and cousins and aunts and uncles all died, and they filled up the damn orphanages with kids. We ain't got that bad yet. They did that again during the World War One. People died and they couldn't afford the kids, so they shipped them back out west to work on farms. I think the government needs to do something like start work farms up, or the WPA, or the poorhouse is what they used to call them. They used to do all kinds of stuff in the poorhouse. Yeah, but the main thing they need to do is get them a job or get the economy back on its feet. But you're going to have to do something right now to keep them from living on the street. Now, being an RVer or a camper, if you choose that life, that's But if you didn't choose that and you're having to live out on the street, when a few $1,000s will get you back on your feet. I think it's better for you to give the American people, let's say, $5,000 to $10,000 to get them back on their feet, than it is to, have them stealing and robbing and killing to feed their families because of the pandemic. So let's see which direction they're going to go in. They said they're already trying to work for a stimulus package, but I think these big businesses like the casinos and the car manufacturers and the shipping industry and the plane industry, I think they can take a hit. I don't think a person that's working at a 7-Eleven and then got laid off can take a hit. Not when they're paying $1,200 a month. So you gave them 1 month of rent. Whoop-de-doo. You better figure out something else to do while you're still in office and there's still a United States. Because a true pandemic or a plague, if it's not controlled, and this, that, and the other, which hopefully this virus can be controlled, it can kill half the population. And like I said, it's great to be a king, but if you don't have a kingdom, then what the hell good is it to you to be a king or a president or whatever else you want to be? You guys have a great day, and I appreciate you guys coming and stopping by. I'm going to stay a couple, 3 minutes for you guys to say bye, hi to other people on here. And remember, it's basically up to you. It is your baby and it's on your back. Don't sit around and wait for the government to bail you out. Look at them people down there in the Astrodome when they're waiting for FEMA. A lot of them died, sit there waiting for FEMA to get them out of that hurricane. They sit there and died waiting on it. Let us not sit there and wait on it. Let's take some things in our own hands, this, that, and the other. Buy an extra can of soup, I can't stress it enough. You guys take care, think of one another, and be kind and considerate. But don't lose your common sense. And don't there's users out there and there's givers and there's takers. But there are also users. Don't let somebody use you because of their sad story. First thing you should offer up to anyone is prayer. Pray for them, wish them well, and mean your prayers. If I'm going to go and sit before God in a prayer, I'm going to mean it. I'm not just going to say it because, okay. No, if I sit there and bring stuff up before God, like if I decide, somebody asked me to pray for them, this, that, and the other, I'm going to mean my prayer to God. God knows what they need and how to handle it. I will let you guys go because there ain't much else to say. I will find a better subject tomorrow, maybe. Hopefully it ain't politics or pandemic or something like that. Maybe I will talk on Christmas. Maybe, yeah, I think Christmas would be a good topic. What are you going to do for Christmas? Yeah. Talk to you guys later. Have a great one. I'll think about the next subject. Take care.